Right, students, welcome along to the course. Now, over the next 3 weeks, we're going to learn everything you need to know when you're thinking of buying one of these. We're going to look at everything you need to know about the outside, the inside, and the engine. But for our first lesson, we're keeping it simple. They say you can't judge a book by the cover. Well, I say you can, or you can learn an awful lot, and here's how. Remember, it may not be glamorous getting down to the dirty business of checking out a used car, but it could be all the difference between buying a runner and something that's only fit for this. It just makes you shudder, doesn't it? So let's make sure it doesn't happen to our new car. First job, open the doors, all of them, all over the place, bonnet, boot, the lot. Once they're open, you're looking around areas like this. Straight away we're getting under the surface and looking for secrets. Move all the rubber around, have a look at the edges. What we're looking for is blistered paint, anything that looks like rust coming through underneath. Also seams where it might have been welded, cut and shut, we've all heard about it. You'll see seams. Have a good look around and do that everywhere, all over the place. While the doors are open, have a feel around underneath and make sure that the outer skin of the door isn't separating away from the frame of the thing. That's pretty important and it's easily done. Don't forget, moisture, water, it all collects around here and it eats away at your car, and it's places where people hide secrets that you've got to uncover. It's not difficult to see when it's right, and it's certainly not difficult to see when it's wrong. So, by looking behind, around and under the doors, bonnet and boot, we've learned an awful lot about the structural integrity of the car. Now we're going to look at the skin, the body panels, the surface. Try this. Look the full length of it, because from this angle you can see dents, waves and ripples that you might not see from other angles. Try as well running your hand literally over every body panel. You're feeling for areas of filler, obviously a cheap alternative to replacing a busted panel. Look as well at the shut lines, the gaps in between all the panels, the doors, the bonnet, the boot, the wings. And what we're looking for here is to make sure they're a constant distance as they were when they left the factory. Make sure they're the same on both sides of the car as well, because if they're not, it might indicate the panels have been busted in a bit of a crash and then badly replaced or shoddily worked on. With a bit of practice, actually, this is very easy, and it's very easy to see when it's right and when it's wrong. Now it's time to take a step back and look at the whole car. And what we're looking at is the paintwork. And what we're looking for is, well, it's simple enough really, is every panel the same colour? Because if it's not, that indicates it might have been cheaply resprayed, which means it may have been crashed. So look at it carefully. Does it match? Then we move in closer. And we switch to X-ray vision, because what we're trying to do now is see through the paint to the bodywork underneath. And we're looking for things like evidence of small, faint, circular scratches actually under the paint, because that would indicate filler. Bad news. You might also see small crater-like depressions where the paint has shrunk away from the filler. Again, bad news. Sometimes this is quite tricky to spot. Sometimes it's blinking obvious. We're not quite done yet, just a few final checks to add to your list. Go to the front and rear screens and try, if you can, to lift the rubber and have a look, because it's under here that rain gathers and you get rust, and it can be very bad news. It's difficult and expensive to repair. Do the same for a sunroof as well. Lift the rubber if there is one fitted. Also, look around things like the door handles, the badges on the bonnet and on the tailgate, anything attached to the car, for a build-up of paint, because that could indicate a cheap bodged spray job, and that could indicate it's been crashed. Bad news.